Other big development happening today, the latest on the tweets against judiciary by senior lawyer Prashant Bhushan. The hearing on Prashant Bhushan's sentence in the contempt case is currently underway in the Supreme Court. Prashant Bhushan has refused to reconsider his statement. He was given that opportunity by the judges, where Prashant Bhushan has responded in the negative, saying no, he would not like to reconsider his statement. Let's listen in to what Mr. Bhushan had to say. All right. In fact, what we are getting right now are details from the hearing that is going on in the Supreme Court in the contempt case, and the sentencing is to happen today. The hearing on Prashant Bhushan's sentence in the contempt case is underway. He's already been found guilty of contempt. The hearing for sentencing is on, and in this particular hearing, Prashant Bhushan was asked whether he would reconsider his statement. Apparently, Mr. Bhushan has said that he refuses to reconsider. Let me get Meenakshi to understand this further. Meenakshi, if you can help us understand the proceedings in court, what is the development so far with regards to the hearing on the sentencing for Prashant Bhushan in the contempt case?
Well, Afrida, very big breaking news coming in. A very interesting and a very massive twist has been introduced in the entire contempt case, with no less than the Attorney General of India, Mr. K.K. Venugopal, just telling the Supreme Court three-judge bench composition that he's requesting for the bench to not punish Mr. Bhushan despite having convicted him guilty of contempt of court. Our viewers will recall just 5 days back, the Supreme Court had passed a ruling which found Mr. Prashant Bhushan guilty of contempt of court, and today, the 20th of August, was posted for further hearing on arguments pertaining to the quantum of punishment, what that quantum or period of punishment should be for Mr. Prashant Bhushan. Now, in the course of those arguments, we heard earlier in the day a statement also from Mr. Prashant Bhushan, where he said whatever he did it in the interests of democracy. He's not pleading for anybody's magnanimity, but he believes that nothing that he has said has brought down the majesty of the Supreme Court. He is very pained by the decision of the Supreme Court, but he also said this, Aprida, very interestingly, that if he apologizes at this juncture, it will be a dereliction of duty on his part. So that was his statement. We are in possession of the detailed statement made by Mr. Prashant Bhushan himself before the three-judge bench composition. But the hearing on the quantum is underway, where the Supreme Court clearly wanted for the attorney to also opine on this issue. And the Attorney General of India, who is the top law officer of the Government of India, has introduced a very interesting and a massive twist in the case, where he's requesting for the three-judge bench composition to not go ahead and punish Mr. Prashant Bhushan despite having convicted him earlier for contempt of court. So that's the latest interesting twist that we are bringing to our viewers as it is transpiring in the top court.
Very interesting. Also, you mentioned, Meenakshi, that Mr. Bhushan himself has said that he's not asking for mercy or magnanimity. The fact, if he apologizes, that would be dereliction of duty. In what context did Mr. Bhushan say that?
Well, clearly, Afida, the context is pertaining to the earlier conviction order of the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court has found that two tweets of Mr. Bhushan, which purportedly has brought down the confidence of the people in the majesty of the justice dispensation system of the Supreme Court. Therefore, the Supreme Court had gone ahead and convicted Mr. Bhushan on the 14th of August. It had kept 20th of August for further arguments on the quantum of punishment. And earlier today, before the matter commenced, before the Attorney General's position was known on this issue, Dushyant Dave, who is another senior advocate who was today advocating for the cause of Mr. Prashant Bhushan, was urging upon the Supreme Court to not conduct this hearing, saying that Mr. Bhushan will be considering filing a review petition till the outcome of that review plea is known. This particular hearing on the quantum of punishment should be deferred. That hearing has not been deferred. That hearing is presently underway because the Supreme Court was of the opinion that judgment is complete only upon the pronouncement of the verdict alongside the pronouncement of the quantum as well. Both of the things constitute the completion of a judgment. And in the course of the hearings pertaining to the aspect of quantum, we are seeing these developments play out, even as Mr. Rajiv Dhawan, who is continuing arguing pertaining to the aspects of
Yes.
the quantum of punishment, is trying to impress upon the Supreme Court as to how tweets are something which are transitory in nature. Tweets are not something which shows any interference per se with the law, and essentially making the argument that the tweets did not constitute a contempt of court. He's also urging upon the Supreme Court to rely on the opinions of recent retired Supreme Court and High Court judges who have sided with Mr. Bhushan on this issue.
Yes, but the important point which you are highlighting, Meenakshi, is that it's the Attorney General of India, no less, who's now requesting the Supreme Court not to announce or pronounce any punishment for Prashant Bhushan, despite him being convicted of contempt of court, being found guilty of contempt. That's the big word coming out of the Supreme Court. Proceedings are still underway. Meenakshi, thanks for joining us.